Is Israel still God's chosen people, or has that mantle shifted in secret? What if the answer has been hidden in plain sight, scattered across Scripture, waiting for the discerning eye to piece it together? The Bible paints a fierce, unwavering picture of God's covenant with Israel, a nation born not from military might, but from a promise so deep it echoes through centuries of war, exile, and redemption. God did not merely choose Israel in the past tense. He named kings 150 years before their birth. Like Cyrus of Persia in Isaiah 45, a pagan emperor called his anointed, not for his faith, but for his role in a divine strategy to restore the exiled Jews and rebuild the temple. Let that settle in. A non-believer was chosen to fulfill a holy mission because God's sovereignty transcends belief. You might think rejection of the Messiah erased Israel's place, but Romans 11 calls it a temporary hardening, not a final verdict. Before Persia even rose as an empire, God already positioned his people for deliverance. 4 separate times in Scripture, ancient Iran, Persia, tried to annihilate Israel, and each time God stepped in. When Babylon crushed Jerusalem and reduced the temple to ash, the people of Judah believed all was lost, until Cyrus diverted the Euphrates, conquered Babylon without a fight, and freed the Jews with wealth, resources, and a royal decree. And if you think that's just history, think again. The book of Ezekiel unveils a terrifying prophecy. A coalition led by a mysterious figure named Gog, with Persia at his side, will rise in the last days to crush Israel. But fire and chaos will rain from heaven, and God himself, not Israel's army, will strike down the invaders. That battle hasn't happened yet. It's still waiting on the prophetic clock. This is not just about past preservation. It's a warning of what's coming. You see, God never needed perfect people to fulfill his will. He used Esther, a concealed Jewish orphan, to dismantle a Persian genocide from within the throne room. He used Daniel's prayers to shut the mouths of lions and dismantle Babylonian arrogance. Again and again, God proved he had not abandoned Israel, not in exile, not in silence, not in the shadow of foreign gods. And even when Israel rejected Jesus, the very Messiah foretold through their prophets, Scripture didn't say they were cast aside. It said their rejection became the doorway for the Gentiles. Galatians 3:29 makes it clear. Those who belong to Christ are Abraham's seed. But don't mistake grafting for replacement. Paul warns Gentile believers not to grow arrogant, because just as branches were cut off due to unbelief, so too can the grafted ones be removed. This is not about lineage, it's about living, breathing faith. Yet, and this is the secret too many ignore, God still has a specific, irrevocable plan for Israel as a nation. Ezekiel's vision of dry bones wasn't metaphorical. It was a prophecy of both physical and spiritual restoration. Bones, lifeless and scattered, were brought together, covered with flesh and breathed into by the Spirit of God until they stood, a living army. That's Israel, scattered, exiled, nearly erased, but not forgotten. And the second wind is still coming. Zechariah says they will look upon the one they pierced and mourn as one mourns for an only son. This will be the moment the veil is lifted, a spiritual awakening like no other. But until that day, the tension between Isaac and Ishmael, between Israel and the Arab world, will continue to churn like a storm. It began in Genesis and hasn't ended. The war in the Middle East isn't just political, it's prophetic. Every missile, every treaty, every betrayal fits like a puzzle piece into an ancient war between promises made and promises distorted. So is Israel still chosen? The covenant wasn't a lease. It wasn't conditional on performance. It was eternal. God doesn't break his word. He completes it. And you reading this are part of that mystery. You are watching prophecy unfold in real time, caught between two realities, the visible and the divine. The question isn't just about Israel, it's about you. Are you aligned with God's eternal plan, or are you merely watching history repeat from the sidelines? You've just heard truths that few dare to speak, but now you know God has never abandoned Israel. And if he hasn't abandoned them, He won't abandon you either. Stay awake, stand firm. The end is drawing closer than ever. The question is no longer, is Israel still chosen by God? But rather, have you chosen him?